What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Badass or Trash review. And today we are reviewing Fast X. I know it's been probably about a week or two since you guys have seen me. I've been on vacation. I've been doing some good things with some family and some good people in my life. But I'm proud to be back here to talk about Fast X, the first movie review on the channel for a little while. I was trying to do my Evil Dead reviews, go from the very first one all the way to Evil Dead Rises. Still working on that to be continued, and you'll see that here on the channel. So be around for that. I'll probably put it in this video, some of my Evil Dead reviews thus far. I think I've only done one and two, but I've recorded all of my reviews for each movie in the series. Just have to edit them and all that good stuff. Anyway, all that content creator mumbo jumbo. So anyway, with that being said, if you're new here, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on this video and subbing to the channel, we would really appreciate it. We have podcasts coming up. We took a little break from the channel, from the podcast for a little bit, just to decompress, go on vacation, things like that. But we will be back strong June 4th to do our Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse episode of the Dead Ed podcast. So if you like that movie, you're interested at all, you go see it. Hey, come check us out, and hopefully you will not regret it. With that being said, let's get all that stuff out the way. Let's talk about Fast X. So this is the 10th movie in this franchise, right? I think there's 11 movies total if you want to include Hobbs and Shaw. But 10 movies in the Fast saga, right? That's what Vin Diesel calls, right? The Fast saga. 10 movies. And look, outside looking in, for a series to go 10 films is, I was going to say the word maybe impressive, but I wouldn't say it's like impressive, especially with how these movies have gone really since, because people want to say like since like Fast Five, but to be honest with you, I think it's since like Fast Sevens. Fast Seven was a good film. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, has one of the most, it has a really super sad scene at the very end of the movie, which I have some gripes with it when it comes to story. But like when you're thinking about story in these movies, they don't really mix, do they? So I have my own little gripes, but all in all, I've enjoyed these films for what they are. They're dumb, stupid, fun, and most of them I have fun. Um, Furious Five is one of the greatest action movies of all time. I think most people would probably agree with that. Now you might not. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I absolutely adore Fast Five. Fast Six, good film. Furious Seven, very good film. And this is when it starts getting kind of teetering on more of the shitty side. Not that it's bad, but the quality is down. Fate of the Furious had this really stupid story, dumb, larger than life. It's just these action sequences are just getting ridiculous at this point. And then you get the Fast Nine, and I did not like Fast Nine at all. I thought that movie was shit from start to finish. How Dom has a brother all of a sudden, like what the fuck? Like where did any of that come from? So you get the Fast X, and my expectations were super low. I like this franchise, and I'm gonna be one of those that when they decide to can it and they're done, I will be one of those sort of sad that it's over because, like many of you, I was born in the '90s. I grew up with these films. I remember seeing the first one the first week or so it was out. I remember seeing Too Fast, Too Furious in theaters, and seeing all the movies since then in movie theaters. And this is a big franchise for me personally because it's been around for so long. It's not one of my favorite franchises, but it's been around for a while. So, anyway, that's a long ass introduction. Going into Fast X, had very low expectations, and I'm proud to say I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I'll go as far as saying this is the best Fast and Furious movie we have seen since Furious 7, for sure. And in some ways, I found this movie more entertaining and more fun than Furious 7. Now, I think I like Furious 7 better as a film. I like we've seen revenge stories a billion times, but I like the revenge plot in this one with Deckard Shaw avenging his brother. I liked all that stuff. But I will say Fast X is it honestly, it surprised me, man. It surprised me. Now, that's not to say this movie is a good film. That's not what I'm saying. But in the terms of surprise me, making me actually have fun, I actually was really into, not really the story aspect, but I thought it was really cool how they, and this might be a little spoilery, maybe not. I'm gonna try to stay as much from spoilers as I can, but really putting this movie in a way where it connects back to Fast Five. And obviously, I just talked about Fast Five. It's one of my favorites in the series, just like most people. So it was really cool to see those connections, and they're dropping these hints. And so now, when you go back and watch Fast Five, you'll see Fast Five a little differently because you know, okay, the main antagonist of this film is in these scenes, but he's obviously in the background because he wasn't created back then. Which leads me right into the star of the show, Jason Momoa as Dante was perfect. Man, I had some real, not real issues, but I just, I'm not a huge Jason Momoa fan, okay? And I know it's going to sound like appalling, right? Because a lot of people like this guy and they like the things he's in. I've never really liked him that much. I think, as a person, he might be all right. I don't know anything about his character, but there was not any movies that I'd seen him in that I was like, okay, he blew me away as an actor. Oh man, that's a good actor. I watched Game of Thrones. I know he played Khal Drogo in that, and I thought he played a good part in that. Just an asshole. Just some of the scenes between him and Daenerys Targaryen were borderline rapey. But all in all, I liked his I liked his character in the show for the short time you see him, and so really that's really the only really character that he played that I was like, okay, he's memorable at least. I'm not saying he's got some big part. I'm not saying he's some like monumental character, but he's at least memorable. And that's kind of how I felt about him up until this movie. This movie cements him as somebody memorable. I think the character of Dante is super fun. He's super fun. He's super interesting. I was actually digging the backstory. I was actually like, and I'm not sitting here saying the story is immaculate. Dude, the story in these movies, they've been gone since like arguably, sorry, my phone's going off. Arguably the first one. So, you know, to look at like story, like oh man, like oh man, the story I vibe so well with the story. No, I didn't. It's it's not something where I'm like whoa the story just well it's not. But I was digging the backstory. I thought I liked the connections to Fast Five. I thought that was super cool because like again, I really enjoyed Fast Five, so I like the connections they made to it. And you'll see, as you watch the film, and there's a pretty decent twist towards the end of the movie. And then there's some other dumb reveals. But going back to Dante, he stole the show. I think his character was fun, very Joker like. I seen somebody make a comparison saying he's half Joker, half Jack Sparrow, and that's a perfect way to put it. He is a straight up Jack Sparrow slash Joker character, and I dug it. I think he played the part really, really well. There's a really funny part that's so sadistic and sinister, but hilarious at the same time. I don't want to spoil it, but he does a really good job, and I didn't know how he was going to play a villain, and it's interesting, and it's a different type of villain for this franchise because whenever you see villains, whenever they're advertised for these films, they're always there's very see that's the thing. You got to watch what you say because I wouldn't say like overly macho, but you had Luke Hobbs, right? Then you had Shaw number one in Fast Six. Then you had Deckard Shaw, right? You always have like these like physically imposing guys, right? Because I mean, look at Jason Statham, right? Jason Statham is freaking. I'm pretty sure that guy could actually kill somebody in real life with how he moves in these films. And you got these guys who are super tough. I mean, I guess you could throw John Cena in there, but see, I was when it comes to Fast Nine, but I was never convinced that dude could really be a full on villain. You know what I mean? I love John Cena, but and I think he does the part of like Peacemaker really really well, but all in all, man, I really liked his character, and I think it made the movie fun. It made the movie a lot of fun. And when he was on screen, I was excited to see him again. I was excited to see what is Dante gonna do to the family. And speaking of the family, listen, they're more run of the mill, same shit you've seen a billion times. You have Tez and Rome bickering at each other the entire time and trying to get after Ramsey, right? They're trying to flirt with her. You see Dom, trying to raise a family, and it's just like this dude is always flexing. I was literally saying in the theater, like every time this dude's just standing still, always flexing. Like, dude, we know you're big, we know you're ripped. You don't have to freaking flex all the time. But yeah, but and you know the family stuff is still there. It's just it's a little bit different with you have each member of the family. They're all split up in different parts of the world, pretty much, and going through their own thing. But they're all it's all connected back to Dante in some way or shape or form. So, and I did appreciate that they were all, even though they're all going their own journeys, they were also still being affected by what Dante was doing. And you know, I like that, man. It was a nice touch to make all of it feel connected, and I really appreciated that they went as far as giving that much detail when they didn't have to, and I didn't really expect them to. So, um, but yeah, you know, I think that's really all I got for you. I mean, you know, I'm trying to think of some other stuff. You know, like I said, there's a couple of reveals. It's stupid. The stunts, stupid again. There's one in particular with Dom, and they show it a little bit in the trailer, but I don't want to go into it. But it pretty much Dom at this point is like a superhero. Um, you know, and whatever. I mean, however, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's getting to the point where it's like, bro, like just say this dude is like a mutant or something, or like he's genetically enhanced. I got a feeling that's going to be like a storyline. Is like his dad wasn't what he seemed. Maybe his dad wasn't as good of a dad as he says he is, and maybe his dad had like drugged him and took him to a lab, and they freaking experimented on him, and then they gave him powers. I mean, I might have just gave them the idea for Fast X Part Two, right? But yeah, you know, all in all, it's a good Fast film. You know, it's got all the stuff that you've seen a billion times. But I think what puts this movie over the edge is the villain. I think Jason Momoa's Dante made this film super enjoyable to watch. You know, I liked all the characters. John Cena, he comes back as Jacob, Dom's brother, which is still weird to me. But he had some really good moments with his nephew, Dom's son. I like that stuff. You know, so it has some really good wholesome moments like that, and then it has your action, and the action's really well done. I mean, not too many cutaways. It's not exactly like John Wick, but it's you know it's decent, and so I had a really good time with it, I'm proud to say this movie's badass. I'm just saying. Listen, I know it's not the popular opinion. I get that. It's popular to hate on this series. It's just like Walking Dead, right? Huge Walking Dead fan, but it's more popular to hate on the Walking Dead than to enjoy the Walking Dead. And I understand that. I'm on an island here. You know what I mean? I'm also on an island when I say the Last of Us TV show is trash. But I, but I will say, I really enjoyed this film, and it's definitely worth a watch. And it's the best in the series since Furious Seven, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it deserved this badass ranking to me. So anyway, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about Fast X. Are you a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise? Do you want it to end? Do you want it to live on? Are you excited for Part Two? Because Part Two is definitely coming. I didn't want to get into too much detail there, but you know, I'm looking forward to Fast X Part Two. You know, because I think Vin Diesel said it's supposed to be like a three-parter. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm chomping at the bit to see the next one, but I I am intrigued because I enjoyed this one. I really did, and I'm proud to say I did. So anyway, with that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. As always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. With that being said, we'll see you soon for family. Stay dead, my friends.